Hello and congratulations! Your SDA property is nearing completion and we are now ready to start marketing and trying to find tenants. Thank you also for taking the time to listen to the presentation where we will discuss in greater detail about how we can manage your investment here at the Disability Housing Centre. After you take the opportunity to listen to all of this presentation, please contact our team to arrange a 20-minute follow-up call where we can answer all of your questions. So, to get started, please see an overview of our discussion points. We will be touching on our company and how we work. We will discuss property management, so how we manage your property and then how we market and tenant your property. We will then talk about the collection of payments, which includes both the rent collection and the NDIS or SDA collection. But please start off by referring to this slide for a glossary of terms. Our staff can discuss this in more detail with you in the follow-up phone call, should you have any questions about any of the terms used on this slide. The main ones that we will be referring to throughout this presentation are SIL providers and support coordinators. We receive most of our inquiries either via SIL providers or support coordinators, and so we target most of our marketing accordingly. About us. Please note that whilst we use 3 different business names, we are ultimately the one company and we all work from the same office located in Brisbane. Property Direct holds a real estate licence with more than 25 years of experience in property management and bringing quality projects to market. SDA Smart Homes is the investor side of our business, working with investors to build SDA houses. And then the Disability Housing Centre is the tenanting side of our business, working with NDIS stakeholders to find suitable housing for NDIS participants. As SDA Smart Homes and the Disability Housing Centre have different end clients, it means we do use very different branding. Our services. Our team here will help you with the NDIS enrolment of your SDA property. We will also help to manage and maintain your property. Our property manager conducts 6 monthly routine inspections. We do also help to market your property in order to ultimately try and find suitable tenants. Our team. Following on from this presentation, our team here at the Disability Housing Centre will be in touch with you to personally introduce themselves and to help explain our team a little further. We have an accommodation manager who assists with onboarding tenants into the properties and checking that the NDIS funding is all correct. We have a business development manager, or BDM, who proactively tries to find tenants for the property through various industry networking events, expos, and relationship building. We also have a property manager who will be in contact with you and will be sending your income statements through to you. We have our marketing team and the disability housing team here. We do fortnightly marketing meetings to discuss marketing strategies. Who are our tenants? Please refer to this slide for some information on who our tenants are. To be eligible for SDA funding, a person needs to be an NDIS participant and needs to be living with an extreme functional impairment and/or very high support needs. Many of our tenants are wheelchair users and require wide doorways and hallways and other accessible features as well. However, this may not always be the case. Ultimately, SDA funding is very niche and not everyone on the NDIS will receive the correct funding to be eligible for our properties. In fact, a fairly small percentage of NDIS participants will ever be deemed eligible for SDA funding. As such, it does require a lot of marketing efforts from our end to try and find the right eligible tenants. Many of our tenants are not their own decision makers, and they will often have a guardian, such as an officer of the public guardian, to make housing decisions on their behalf. Please note that when this is the case, we do often find that the decision-making process can take a little longer than often expected. While most of our properties are enrolled as HPS houses or high physical support houses, we would still encourage owners to be flexible with different funding options. For investors that are flexible with accepting fully accessible and improved livability funded participants, it will help us to fill your house as quickly as possible. If you are expecting the very top income, then you will have to be patient and understand that it is likely going to take some time for us to achieve that result. We sometimes also receive inquiries for families funded under SDA Appendix H. This is a funding concept where the NDIS funds families a reasonable SDA amount in order for them to take up exclusive use of an SDA property. If we receive an inquiry like this for your property, we will always come to you first to see if you are open to an arrangement like this. The income is approximately comparable to having 2 SDA funded tenants. Whilst this is less income than having a fully tenanted house, it does typically offer more stability as we do not have to consider tenant matching. It can be a great option for investors who have bought in highly competitive locations. Tenant data. Please see some recent statistics around our tenant makeup and vacancy occupancy rates. Please ask our team if you have any questions about any of this data. Tenanting your property. As previously mentioned, we typically encourage owners to be flexible with a variety of SDA funding levels. Please ask our team if you do have any questions regarding this. We will let you know if we receive an inquiry, and please always let us know as soon as possible whether or not you are comfortable to proceed with the income amount. It is important that you let us know sooner rather than later, as tenants are often also looking at other SDA properties as well. There are many complexities that need to be considered when we receive an inquiry, such as support needs and tenant matching to other tenants in the house. For instance, is it going to be a suitable fit for the other tenants? And will it help to create a harmonious, comfortable environment for everyone? Not everyone has to be best friends. However, they do still need to be able to get along in order to create a sustainable house. We do sometimes find that tenants decide to move out if they are not getting along well with their housemates. And whilst this is not frequent, it can certainly happen. So it is something that's very important for us to consider. Again, it will potentially delay the timeframes in finding tenants for your property. However, it's important to get it right from the start. Timeframes. If we receive an inquiry from hospital, there is usually some urgency around timeframes. They do not always have the flexibility to wait for a house that is not yet handed over. Sometimes we also identify a participant for a property. However, due to certain logistics such as ordering of equipment, for instance wheelchairs, it can take them a while before they actually are ready to move in. Please note that there are certain locations that are very competitive for SDA housing. And if you have built in one of these regions, then please expect that it can take some time for us to tenant your property. We cannot suggest timeframes as this can be extremely varied. However, our occupancy rates do show that houses built in less competitive areas will typically tenant a lot faster. Our tenants have the ability to choose where they wish to live and will typically want to be living around their existing community and supports. If you have any questions about the location you have built in, please speak to our team in the follow-up phone call to discuss this further. Please be assured that our goal is always to tenant your property as quickly as possible. However, due to the complexities of this industry, the reality is that it can sometimes take some time. On-site SIL supports. SIL, as a reminder, stands for Supported Independent Living. They are the company that are selected by our tenants to be in the property to provide 24/7 care. They do not live in the property and we do not have a lease in place with the SIL provider. They have a team of staff that are on a roster. The OOA room is allocated to the SIL to set up an office and small bed overnight for the staff working on an overnight shift. Please note that there is only ever one SIL provider per house. This is another complexity that does need to be considered when trying to find further tenants for your property. We try and let the first tenant have a say in who the SIL provider is, and then we do our own due diligence to ensure we are trying to find suitable, reliable, and reputable SIL providers. Any new tenants moving into the house then have to agree to using that particular SIL provider that is selected. If they already have a preferred SIL provider and do not wish to change SIL providers, then unfortunately they will not be interested in applying for your property. We do receive many inquiries from participants that already have a preferred SIL provider, and so in these instances we cannot present all houses that have vacancies. Instead, we can only present completely vacant properties. As a registered SDA provider, we have access to an NDIS portal where we can see all of our participants and access their SDA NDIS funding. When our team onboards a new tenant, we submit an SDA quote to the NDIS for them to implement. Please note that this process can take some time for the NDIS to action, and timeframes can be outside of our control to a certain degree. Our team will be monitoring and following up on your behalf to try and ensure that we gain access to these payments as soon as possible. Please be aware that sometimes it can take approximately 2 to 3 months for us to gain access to the NDIS payments, and there have been rare occasions where it has taken much longer than this. On a positive note, we can backdate the payments from move-in date or from the property enrolment date, unless we have advised you earlier and sought your permission to proceed. Once we gain access to payments, from there it is generally fairly smooth sailing and we can claim every month. The NDIS payments are sent to you once per month, every mid-month, and are claimed in arrears. You may notice small changes to your monthly income, and this is because we claim based on how many days are in the month. In addition to the NDIS payments, you are also entitled to receive an RRC, or reasonable rental contribution, from the tenant directly. This is sent to you fortnightly. Marketing your property. Please refer to this slide to see an overview of our main marketing strategies. Some of these ongoing strategies include Housing Hub listings. This is similar to a realestate.com website, but specifically for people with disabilities seeking purpose-built housing. We don't advertise on realestate.com as our clients do not search on that website. Housing Hub is one of the main sources for us to receive inquiries. We also receive inquiries on Nest. This is a very similar website to Housing Hub. We list all of our properties on our website for the Disability Housing Centre. We have our business development manager who attends expos, networking events, etc. to try and build relationships with key contacts in the industry in order to try and increase our inquiries. The BDM also works on other strategies such as SIL vacancy mitigation meetings with our current SIL providers to try and brainstorm ways to help fill the other rooms in the properties. Prospecting or cold calling, typically targeting support coordinators, SIL providers, and relevant hospital contacts such as nurse navigators. Revisiting our database and reconnecting with those support coordinators, SIL providers, and hospital contacts. Running open homes where relevant. These are just to name a few of the strategies. However, our team are always thinking of new and other ways to try and market the properties. We have regular marketing catch-ups approximately every fortnight to try and discuss properties that need extra marketing assistance. We also send out monthly vacancy flyers to our database so that they are always kept in the loop of our properties that are available. Things to consider. please refer to this slide for some other things that can be considered. Please speak to the team on your follow-up phone call if you do have any questions about any of these points. Helpful links. Please see this slide for some helpful links that you can take a look at in your own time and let us know if you have any questions. So thank you for taking this time to listen to this presentation. So the next step now is to reach out to our team to let them know you have watched the presentation and that you are now ready to schedule in your 20-minute follow-up phone call. You can use this time in the phone call to ask any questions you have following on from this presentation. Thank you.